Hello everybody, happy Friday. I am Miss Carrie and this is Good Friend Art Studio, and today I have a super cute unicorn for us to draw together. I've been waiting to do a unicorn drawing for a little while, so I thought I'd save it for a Friday as a special treat, and so I hope you really enjoy it too. To get us excited about our unicorn, I have a fun book that I like to read, and it's called Never Let a Princess Paint with Her Unicorn. Just kind of a silly, fun book that I thought would get us in the unicorn drawing mood. So let's see it. Never Let a Princess Paint with Her Unicorn, written and illustrated by Diane Alber. I'm not sure if you noticed my dazzling crown, but I'm a princess, and I do pretty much everything with my pet unicorn. So when I heard never let a princess paint with her unicorn, I was shocked. Why would anyone say such a thing? My unicorn and I play great together. Why couldn't we paint together too? If I just put a little paint on the brush to test this theory out, what could go wrong? Well, I'll tell ya, she licked it. That's disgusting. We don't lick paintbrushes in Miss Carrie's studio. It's against the rules. Maybe this is why people think princesses shouldn't paint with their unicorns, because unicorns will try to lick up all the paint. I had an idea. If I started to paint, she would see how much fun it was and would want to paint too. So I lined up my paint cans and reminded her, we don't lick paint. But just as I started to paint, she turned around. Why didn't she want to paint with me? Turns out she just had a different way of painting. Every time she dunked her tail on the paint, it splashed more and more. What a mess, I yelled. Soon, my dress was drenched in paint, but we were having so much fun. I just had to see what would happen when paint touched her horn. Within seconds, it was raining sparkling splatters. Then I heard a noise down the hall. I was going to be in so much trouble. I peeked my head out the door so my mom couldn't see my dress, and I tried to explain. But before I could say anything, my eyes welled up with tears. There was no use in making excuses. I'm so sorry for ruining my new dress. My mom smiled. Why are you apologizing? I was hoping you would wait until your birthday, but I can see you found your new rainbow unicorn princess dress. Aha, look at the unicorn now. I looked around the room and there was no paint to be found, not on the ceiling or the walls. And then I looked at my dress. It was the most stunning dress I had ever seen. It's hard to tell exactly why people say a princess shouldn't paint with her unicorn. It could be because it's too messy or because they think unicorns can't paint. All I know is sometimes it takes a little mess to make a magnificent masterpiece. Look at that dress. The end. So our unicorn is going to be just as spectacular, and we're going to use all the colors of the rainbow. And this is one of the projects where you can make changes to it. If you want to change the colors of your unicorn, you don't have to do it exactly like me. All right, let me push this closer so that you can see it. And I'm going to take down our pretty unicorn. And I'm starting with just a plain white piece of paper. And today we're mostly going to be using markers and colored pencil. We're going to be drawing with our pencil, and I've got an eraser on standby if I need it. And then I'm going to be using all different colors of markers, and I have not just one type of marker, I have all sorts of different colors. So it doesn't matter whether you have, what brand you have, whether it's Mr. Sketch or Crayola markers or other types of markers, they're all gonna do a good job. So just have your markers on standby. And then we're going to use a whole bunch of colored pencils. And what I have here is mostly pastel rainbow colors. So instead of red, I'm using sort of a raspberry color. I've got like a yellow green that's nice and springy, some peach, some pink, yellow, purple, orange, and a light blue. And those are going to make a really pretty rainbow when we're all done. Okay, let's get started. Grab your pencil and let's turn our paper horizontal. That means that it's short and wide because our unicorn is sitting down, so it's not going to be very tall. But see how it stretches from top to bottom? It's really wide on the sides. I think if you turn your paper this way, it'll work better than if you have it vertically. And we're going to start with our unicorn's head. Her head is going to be just a little bit smaller than your hand. It's going to go right in the center of the page, but I want you to leave about a hand's worth of space up here because we need to save room for the horn and the ears and the top of the rainbow. So put your hand up there and make a little mark, and that way we know, don't go above that mark. We're going to start with the unicorn's head, and it is the letter U, the letter U. So that's pretty easy. That's an easy start. Let's continue. We're going to add some hair to our unicorn. I'm going to start with the clump in the middle. Let's look at this real quick. It starts with sort of like a top of a candy cane shape and then comes down and makes a little curl at the bottom. And we're going to do that over and over and over again. So right in the middle, I'm going to go up, come down, and do a little curl at the end. So once I do that, then I can go backwards. That's a little tricky. I'm going to start at the tip, and I'm going to go back up and connect it right back to where I started. We're going to do this a couple of times. So let's do our next one on the left side. We're going to do another sort of candy cane shape, come down, curl it, and then go back up. We'll do, that's Miss Charlotte in the background making some noise. She's doing her own art project and painting and doing all sorts of creative stuff over there. So you're going to hear some movement in the background. That's what's going on. All right, so we have 3. Let's do another one on the left side. This one's going to be a little bit lower. It's going to curl down the side of the head and swoop up like that. See, my curl's going the other way. And then come back up. And then I need another one on the right side too. So it's going to go down, curl out, and then swoop it back. Now if you see any of your outline of your unicorn's head there, you can go ahead and erase as we go so that we have a nice clean drawing. Okay, let's add a horn. So you can do a horn in a lot of different ways. You could just do a skinny triangle at top, but I kind of like building a horn layer by layer because it almost looks like rings stacked on top of one another. Let's see if we can do that. So right above that center piece of hair, we're going to do a little rainbow shape. And then the next one's going to be a little bit smaller and a little bit smaller. You get the idea. Smaller, smaller, smaller. All right, little unicorn horn. Okay, we need to add some ears. The ears kind of look like petals on a flower. So we're going to start with our right ear, and they're going to point up to the corners. So come to a point, and then come back down. And then right in the middle of that ear, at the tip, we're going to draw another line that curves down. So now it looks like you can see the ear folded over, and this is the inside of the ear. Let's do another one. Because a unicorn needs 2 ears. Up and back down, and then draw the line down the middle. There you go. You know, I feel like my unicorn's looking like a unicorn donkey. My ears are too big. All right, hang on. I'm gonna make an adjustment. Sometimes you get drawing and you go, wait a second, something's not quite right. Let's shorten these ears. I think in my last drawing, my horn was a lot taller, and so everything's a little crazy. All right, we're gonna try this again, except now I'm gonna make the ears smaller. All right, I like that better. I feel better about that. Okay, cute, I like it. All right, let's give our unicorn a face, and then we'll start building her body. Okay, she has her eyes closed, and so we're just going to make sort of a smile shape. Not very deep. It's just like a little smile shape for one eye, and then this eye is really hiding behind her hair, so you may have to skip over her hair so that you don't see that. And then we're going to add some eyelashes. The eye on the right hand side of our unicorn, the eyelashes go in that direction. See how they're curving away from the center of her face? And the one on the left hand side curves away from the center of her face here too. But it's going the other way. Okay. Let's jump down here. We're going to give just a little bit of a mouth. So I'm going to start at the very bottom and then curve up and do a little mouth on that side. And you can do one side or you can do both. I think I'm going to stick with one side this time. But if you wanted to, you could add a second one there. And then she's got 2 little nostrils that are kind of like a little spiral. It's almost like the letter E. All right, I'm going to go backwards though. This is where it gets tricky. All right. Let's put in her feet. We're going to jump down all the way to the bottom. Her feet are going to go pretty low. And I'm going to do 2 lines. They've got a little bit of a curve. And they come up in the middle. And then they come up on the side. See how they're curving in towards her face? There we go. And then for her hoofs, you just do another line just a little bit further up from the bottom. So we've got our front legs. Now we're going to add our back legs. Our back legs, she's sitting down. So the back legs we're going to see the tips, the bottom of her hooves. So there's going to be a circle on each side. And on the bottom of her hoofs, just to make it super cute, let's add a heart. And now we're going to connect our back legs all the way up to her head. That seems kind of funny, but she's kind of really sitting down. So we're going to make a curved line. We're going to go down the side of the head. And then once we get to about where the nose is, we're going to curve it out and go to the top of our circle. Let's do that on this other side too. Go down and out. And then on the bottom, I'm just going to follow the bottom of my circle and do a line that connects that circle to the body. Right there. We're going to do one more line on her back legs, and that's going to be where you can see the side of her hoofs, her back hoofs. So we're going to have a little bit of purple on this part of her leg as well. Okay, she's super cute and squatty. I like her a lot, but she is missing a tail. So let's give her a tail. You're only going to see the bits that are hanging off in the distance. And we might see a little bit of her mane, so we'll add that on too. So let's start with her mane. On the left-hand side, let's just give her a few curls that are hanging down. And then we'll do the same thing over here. Give her 2 little curls. And now we can add a tail. So I really want this tail to be super curly and fun. So I'm going to start with the bottom one. I'm going to start right about here. I'm going to curve it down and back in. And then come down like that. Then I'm going to go a little bit further up. And I'm going to go a little bit further out too. Watch this. Ooh, did you see that? I overlapped. So when you overlap, sometimes you have to jump over a part. So I've got a couple of curls. Let's do another one. This one's going to jump and go like that. So we've got 3 curls coming off of her tail. And she's looking adorable. Let's give her a little cloud to sit on. So starting way over on this left leg, we're just going to do just little arch shapes, like little mini rainbows. And we're going to make that shape all the way around her as she sits on this little cloud until you get to the other side. All right, now we need to start with the rainbow that goes around her. Now I said to grab a plate of some sort, and the reason why is because a plate is a perfect circle. So this gives us something to use so that we can make our own perfect circle as we build our rainbow. So I'm going to put my perfect circle right on top of her head so that all I can see are the tip of her ears and her horn. Once I have that in place, I'm going to trace the top edge of it, but anytime I see part of my unicorn sticking out, I'm going to skip over it. I don't want to draw my lines through my unicorn. I just want to draw around my unicorn. So now that we have the circle here, we can draw as many rainbow arches as we feel like we can fit. I think maybe I could have one more peeking up behind her. This might be a little tricky. Let's see if we can do that. Can you fit one more line that goes sort of back behind her? You would just see a little bit of it. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to keep my lines parallel to the plate line that we drew as our guideline. So hopefully that plate line helps you a little bit. Okay, so now we have 2 colors. Let's see if we can add a third. And they don't have to be totally perfect. If the white lines are a little wobbly, that's okay. It's still gonna look super duper cute. All right, we have 3 colors. My 4th color is gonna go off the page, but that's all right. We'll still see most of it. Let's see. I'm counting how many colors I want to use. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ooh, can I fit 6? 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I didn't do it. I'm going to try. All right, here's number 5. All right, one more. Number 6. Okay, so we have our unicorn, we've got our rainbow, we've got our cloud. I think if you wanted to add some hearts or some stars or things around, this would be a good time to do it. And you can even overlap your rainbow and then erase the stripes that are through it. So I think I might do that, just so that I have some cute hearts hanging out. All right, so before I start outlining or coloring, I'm going to go inside those hearts and erase the rainbow lines. All right, I think we're ready to do some outlining. All right, so I'm gonna say this part is up to you. I really like how it looks when my unicorn is outlined in black marker. It's up to you whether you do that or not. I might not outline my rainbow. I might just outline my unicorn. I'm gonna see how it looks. Because we're going to be coloring in our unicorn mostly with markers, and then we're going to use colored pencil for the rainbow. Well, I hope you've been able to get outside today because it's super pretty outside, and tomorrow's going to be really rainy, I think. So we're gonna have to take a break from the outdoor fun and just hang out inside for a day. But today is great sidewalk chalk weather. If you've done any really cool sidewalk chalk art, I would love to see that. You can post that on my page and I'll be able to see it. We can also do like fun art with things you find in nature. There's all types of ways to make art outside. All right, just outlining away. This takes some time, but I think it looks really good when we're all done. Okay, I'm gonna do my hearts too, because I think I'm gonna color in my hearts with marker. So I'll go ahead and outline those. All right, I got them all. So when I am getting ready to color things in, see how I've outlined? I don't know if you can see. There's lots of pencil marks that you can still see on the unicorn. But if I take my eraser and I just go over my unicorn drawing, it cleans up all of those pencil marks, and you get a nice, clean, crisp drawing. It's going to look great when we add color. So I'm just going to quickly erase what I can inside my unicorn just to clean her up a bit. I feel like I always call unicorns she. I'm sure there are boy unicorns, but they're so pretty, I just think that they're girls. Okay, let's do the rainbow first, and then we can do the unicorn and the hearts. So at the top of my rainbow, I'm going to do my colors in rainbow order. So the outside of my rainbow is going to be this magenta color. Now, if you have red instead and you want to use red for your rainbow, you can do that. I'm using the side of my pencil to color in because I think when you do a point, see how it gives you a dark, thin line, but if you use the side of your pencil, it kind of gives you a smoother coloring. So I like to use the side of my pencil when I'm coloring with colored pencil. So I'll do this one first. All right. While you're watching this, while you're doing your own drawing, I want you to think of what other things you would like to see. What other art lessons would you like to see on video? Because I'm making my lessons for next week and I can use your input to come up with some lesson plans. So you can write them down in the comments and I'll take a look at those and see if I can turn any of your ideas into an art lesson. I've already gotten some good suggestions from previous lessons, but I would love your input. All right, so we did a raspberry, magenta color. Now I'm doing just a regular orange. And this is kind of a softer color. When we do the markers, it's going to be much brighter. But I wanted the rainbow just to be kind of soft in the background. Okay, orange is done. Let's jump to yellow. So Charlotte is back here doing her own project. She is making a gift box, a care package for one of her friends, and she's painting a shoebox. She's going to do all sorts of pretty designs on the shoebox, and then we'll fill it up with some goodies and mail it to her friend. So I thought that was a neat way to do both an art project, but also come up with a gift that you can give to your friend too. You can also just mail art to your friends and family because a pretty picture tells them that you're thinking of them too. So all sorts of fun projects you can do while you're at home. All right, now I'm doing my spring green. This actually says yellow green on it, on the label. So regular green must be just a little bit darker, I'm guessing. Okay, green is done. We're going to jump to a light blue color. I like this blue. Also known as periwinkle. Periwinkle's a type of little flower that's a light blue color. I like using this color a lot. All right, last rainbow color. I have a purple, but let me see if it says it's real purple. This says orchid, so it's a little bit lighter than regular purple. And I think it works well with the colors that we have going in the rainbow. It's not so super bright, not so super dark as regular purple. And you can just see a little bit of this purple peeking out behind our unicorn. All right, voila, we have a pretty rainbow. I want you to go back and get your light blue color. The light blue color, we're gonna do a little shading on our cloud. So let's go right up to the inside edge, and I'm just going to do a little bit of this color around the edges. It almost just gives it a little bit of dimension, so it's not so flat. So all the way around, I'm just going to put a little edge of blue. And see how I'm starting on the outside edge and I'm drawing towards the inside. If you just do lines like this, for some reason it just doesn't look like it's shaded properly. So we're going to do shading, little back and forth lines, starting on the outside edge and going towards our unicorn. What that means is I have to kind of move my body around to try to get to all these areas. So I may have to run to the other side of my easel to make this happen. And then we would probably see a little bit of shade underneath our unicorn too. So since I've got the blue in my hand, let's go ahead and add that in. Just a little bit under her feet and under her legs. Okay. All right, we're not done with colored pencil yet. I have two other colors. One is a peach color and one is just a light pink color. We're going to start with the light pink, and inside her ears, this is the top of her ear and this is the inside of her ear. I'm going to fill in almost all the way the inside of her ear. I start at that center line and I just color it most of the way to the outside edge. I'm just leaving a little bit of white on the outside edge. I'm also going to give her a little bit of pink inside her nose. And then I think she would look cute with pink rosy cheeks. So I'm going to do the side of my pencil right below her eyes and give just a little oval there so that she's got little rosy cheeks. Okay, now I'm going to use the peach. The peach just kind of goes around the inside of the unicorn's body the same way we did the light blue on the cloud. So I'm just going to go around the edges. It just gives her a tiny bit of color so she's not just white. There's a little bit of extra interest to her by adding this. I'll do a little bit on her ears. I did a little bit around her face. Let's go down her feet, her front legs. I'm going to go down the inside of her front legs. Her back legs have a little bit on them. Okay, I think we're done with colored pencil. Let's jump into some markers. This is kind of fun. Okay, I'm going to start with a pink color, sort of a lighter pink. It's pretty bright. I've got all sorts of markers, so I'm just going to grab them as I see them. I'm going to start with pink right in the middle of her hair. The centerpiece is going to be bright pink. So I like to outline the inside of a shape and then color it in. We'll do part of her tail pink too. Maybe that center part of her tail that's nice and long. We'll color that in pink. And let's do the little hearts on her toes, her feet pink. And I'll pick one of my hearts to be pink as well. And I think I'm going to add just a little bit to her horn. Now, I want to add blue to her horn too, so I'm going to see if I can just alternate. I'm going to do a little bit of a pattern. So I'll leave the first one white so that I can add a little bit of blue to it. I'm just going to do like little lines at the bottom of that second one. Then I'll skip it. I'll do a teeny tiny bit, and then the tip of her horn is going to be pink. All right, let's switch to a blue color. I have a good turquoise that I think I'm going to use because I'm going to use a dark blue too. I may change that up. I can't decide. Let's start with the horn. I'm going to add just a little bit of blue to the empty ones that I haven't done yet. And then I'll do a piece of her hair, this color. And maybe I'll also do a piece of her mane that's down here on the side. I'm going to do part of her tail this color. So when I'm deciding where to put my colors, I like to put a little bit of each color all throughout my painting. So that's why I'm kind of jumping around to make sure I've got pieces here or there. I'm going to make this little heart blue as well. Okay, let's do green next. I have a really light green, so I think I will use that instead of my dark green, since we're going with sort of bright pastel colors. Let's start with our hair. And maybe this piece is also green. And I feel like we need more green in here. So let's do her third piece of tail. Let's fill this part in green also. how about purple? The purple we're going to save for the hoofs. We're not going to do any of her hair purple, but her 4 feet are going to have purple on them. Okay, and I'm not going to color in the bottom of her feet. I'm just going to color in the part that is the side of her hoof. We can see a little bit of that on the side. There we go. And now this side. Okay. All right. How about we jump to, we need a darker pink. Can you, pink or red? We can find a darker pink. This I think is like a magenta. I'm gonna give that a go. So let's see if that's dark enough. Yeah, I think that's good. So it's just a little bit darker than the other one that we've done right next to it. And let's color this curl in. Ooh, a wolf or a cheetah would be fun. I like those ideas. And let's think. I'm gonna do one more curl this color, just because I have an extra one here. All right, I need one more blue, and I think I'm going to use just a plain, oh, that is a bad marker. I'm not gonna use that one, let me switch. Let's do, aha, this is much better. All right, so this is a bright blue marker. It's a little bit darker, but I think it's still pretty. Okay, and because I need this somewhere else, I think I'm gonna make this heart blue, just so that we have this color in more than one spot. And I even think I'm gonna cover this one up, just so that I have a little bit more of that color. Okay, I like that. And that one leftover heart, I'm gonna go back and color that purple so that we have a little bit of purple up in the top of our artwork as well. Okay, all right. I think our unicorn is done and looks super duper cute. I can't wait to see your unicorns. But in the meantime, I want you to have a very happy weekend, and I will see you on Monday with some more art to do. All right, have a good weekend. Bye, everybody.